Okay, greetings everybody and welcome to another video right before a live stream. And you know what? We're not doing that today. We're doing some Final Fantasy music. That's right. I fooled you. Okay, not really that much, but today we are going to be looking at reincarnations, dreams, upgrades, if you will, or I've totally forgotten the global term because I haven't been thinking about it. Actually, a little bit of personal news. I'm actually changing jobs right now, which is one of the reasons why I've needed a little bit of time off and a little bit of downtime and so on and so forth. I've also been having a really interesting phone problem, and I wonder if anyone out there can offer a little advice. So at the beginning of this video, before we get into, here is a quick 2 minutes about my problem and see if anyone knows a solution. So I have a phone, I use it, and the problem is that when it turns off its screen, it actually just will turn off completely and reset. And then it'll reset again, and it'll reset again, and it will reset and keep resetting a bunch. But if I put on a YouTube video to keep the screen on, it will actually, it will just run until the battery runs out, provided the YouTube video is long enough. Like right now, I actually have a Metal Gear Solid 2 normal difficulty walkthrough, no commentary on. And it's been running for about 6 hours and it has not had any issues. But as soon as it goes to sleep, it will reset and reset and reset. Now, this sounds like a software issue to me, but I honestly have no clue. So if anybody out there has any ideas, please let me know, as I will be very curious to find out what the heck is going on, although it sounds like a bug. So today, now that we've gotten that out of the way, we're going to get into the newest reincarnation patch on JP, which includes right down here. Also, this has been resized. Just give me a second to shift it a little bit. There we go. Surges, Mia, Howlet, Shell, Niv, Moore, Rafal, and Raychez. And we're going to be taking a look at all of them today and giving our overall thoughts about these characters. Also, as one little quick bonus, the Necronomicon. I can't believe it, but it's actually just the Necronomicon. Gives all of this stuff, but Human Killer on magic attacks. Really nice book for certain characters. All right, but seriously, let's take a look. And we're going to start low and aim high as we go through. So starting off with Mia. Mia had an evocation boost before and acquired AP up with Fairy Killer. It's a 1500 HP boost, which is pretty good for just like a raw stat for such a low tier character. AoE resistance, and gets one skill upgraded, her jaw level 25, which decreases single target resistance still, same modifier, same increase, but decreases CT by 50. Kind of an interesting wind little Mimi thing. I actually don't think that this will be any kind of note, but I'm pulling more for Sosha. So, I mean, it's a lower tier character. You're absolutely free to do this, but anyone who chooses Mia over Sosha is just wrong. Kind of joking. Next up, Surges, who is a ice elemental character. Pierce attack, HP, agility, and luck were some of his things that he had before. Now with his dream enhancement, reincarnation / resistance and agility, not terrible, especially because 30% / a fairly high amount. And as for the skill upgrade, move to unit panel, 200% mod, still inflicts slow, grants regen, gives defense penetration for 3 turns. I mean, it's kind of an interesting AoE, but and it is a Lancer, it's not a Dragoon. I mean, there might be something here. I mean, if you were going ice physical, maybe there's some way. He has 100% hit chance, which is kind of interesting for ice. I don't know if I'd fully recommend going all out for this character, but in terms of low-cost characters, Surges might be on the interesting scale, at least more interesting. Next up, Shell. And Shell, our nice little supportive character. Taking a look at her, she got a bunch of stuff for her master ability too, including like some extra defensive stuff to make her more tanky. Now she's getting more HP and more AoE resistance for going up to 140, as well as Dispel gets upgraded too, which had an incredibly high range on it. One of the best ranges in the game. It was AoE, decreased agility, CT, Dispels all buffs, haste, physical and magical buffs for the targets. And now, basically, the one thing it seems to be doing is decreasing AoE resistance by 15. I mean, again, there is a team that I think would be really interested in this in a limited time thing. Also, I mean, Green Mage kind of got some nice buffs and whatnot. I don't think Shell is particularly a bad upgrade. I just don't know what the exact team is, but a low tier support like Phoebe is always potentially interesting here. And I mean, you're getting a lot of value off her Dispel, and her Dispel is such incredibly high range that it doesn't really put her in any kind of a scary position at all. So Shell also going to get a bit of an okay from me. Next up, Howlet. Not new Howlet, who's ice, but old Howlet, as we get into our URs. And now, with a lot of the lower tier characters, it's kind of just a like, if you feel good, do it kind of thing. With the URs, it always feels way more sketchy because of how limited the resources are. And people have been asking me in the comments, how rare are the actual resources on JP? Still incredibly rare if you're not willing to spend UR medals or money, real world money, or a fair amount of lapis. Like 3,000 lapis for a single UR horn, I think is still way too expensive. And yes, there are some JP bundles that have been for 2,000, but even that is still too expensive in my opinion, given the amount of URs that come out regularly with these upgrades. So Howlet. Everybody is one of the feels like kind of just fan favorite characters. His old one, I mean, he was basically a lot of DPS, decrease in AP consumption, AoE resistance. Here he's getting HP and accuracy. Not bad. We kind of like this always for dealing with some particularly dodgy units. And as for his ability, I mean, basically his job level 25 is staying almost completely the same, except it's decreasing healing power. I mean, this is specifically like useful against very certain units that rely on healing to really outlast and outdo opponents, but the range on this is still kind of short, but his DPS is there. So an interesting unit for some people, but I think most people this will be a pretty easy skip because new Howlet kind of just looks better overall than old Howlet, which is what you would expect. Niv. All right, so Niv, Thunder Arrow Archer, critical rate up and acquired AP up. Not bad. I actually like the amount of crit that she gets. I mean, 25 is not a small amount for critical, and Thunder has a lot of the times ways of benefiting off of critical attacks, so the potential of sharing those with Niv makes it just better. And acquired AP just means that she can do more things that are cooler, faster, better, stronger, other jokey jokes. As for her job level 25, increasing missile attack by 80 for a single turn and decreasing AP consumption both work very well, but also increases her agility. I mean, missile attack by 80 is a lot to just get for more than a single turn. Decreasing AP consumption, I mean, for 3 turns does synergize with agility and also synergizes with the fact that she's getting a lot more AP generation. I don't know if it's enough to make Niv like super high end, just crazy for me. But there is some good synergy here, and I think she still has an overall pretty good kit. And the stronger that Thunder gets for DPS options in the future, the higher the chance that she'll just find another use. Like, really, I mean, you could put her with Viga, and I mean, with the new bow that came out, I do believe I can actually find it very quickly, although I have to go listing through equipment, acquisition. That is bow. There it is. So the new UR bow that decreases chance of being targeted, increases missile attack by 20 and accuracy by 20 are both two things that are also pretty nice for range units. So, you know, while I get that Thunder still kind of wants to do the magical thing, there's always a possibility that Niv could just sneakily be really, really good. Again, this is something that I want someone else to try first. I am reminded of not too long ago when Rob's 120 came out, and I thought to myself, hey, he's got sure hit evasion now. Maybe that would be... No, someone else did it first, and it wasn't worth a UR horn. So, again, maybe more to report back on this in the future. Ask me again sometime. Next up, speaking of more to talk about, we have more. Increase HP by 15% as I hit my microphone, and spear penetration by 20. Honestly, just a nice upgrade here. I particularly also like more because with a higher HP and more DPS, she kind of works very well in the Celeste the Sage of Hess. Yeah, let's go with that combination here. I mean, you're just benefiting potentially from all three of them having an HP restore when their HP drops low enough, and more just getting more DPS is a pretty good bonus for her overall. I actually quite like this. As for job level 25, Dispel Shell for targets, 200% mod on this AoE. Now, that's basically staying the same except for the Dispel Shell effect, which effectively makes it more strong DPS. I mean, it's not a barrier breaker, but it's okay. More already had 100% hit chance anyway, so there was some good stuff there. Decreasing magic is particularly only good in specific targets. Spirit penetration works with her general grade, and silence. So this mage killer ability does generally get stronger, as does her entire magic kit, including her 100% hit chance, and more might be the one on this list that I give the UR thumbs up. But we do have two characters to consider first before we get to the end of this and our summary. First off, Rafal. And for people who are curious, these selection quest characters do use regular UR horns, which makes them subject to higher scrutiny by me. First off, Rafal, who's always been kind of an evasion character, 20% attack up, acquired AP by 30%, and a skill, which is her job level 25, which still dispels, still defense penetrations of 40, and a 200% mod now instead. While it is generally overall stronger, I don't feel like Rafal was that really incredible before this update and really used all that much in Ice, because Alaya is just one of the best characters in the entire game. You're putting another tank with her, and you're potentially just using Eliza or, I don't know, just a lot of different really good DPSs, such as Reagan or whatnot. Rafal is fine, but fine isn't good enough for most players, and Wales can do kind of whatever they want and experiment a little bit more. But I feel like Rafal is generally a little bit short of the mark. And Raychez, probably my favorite of the selection quest units. Increase spirit by 10 and a 200% chance for a 15 magic damage mod. Alright, so obviously here what we're looking at is DPS and a little bit more defensive. And sure, that actually seems okay on paper. I'm not against that. Decreased water resistance is always useful. A 165 mod on it. Restore AP by 10 and restore 200%. Now on a multi-hitter, I honestly don't know, because there is more AO or elemental chain resistance nowadays, which kind of hurt this ability in the first place. And while restoring CT is a nice bonus, it doesn't feel particularly that remarkable. And I don't know how much this really benefits water right now. Like, if I just look at the combination of, like, more and Rafal, or sorry, more and Raychez, I'm leaning more towards uh, more by a good margin. So let's take a quick cursory summary at the end of this video. First off, I think that Mia, Surges, and Shell. Mia, I'm not terribly interested in, but incredibly low cost characters can find definitely their use in limited cost events. Surges and Shell, I think, are actually pretty decent, on verging on being interesting enough to be run. There's some really, really good 100 cost characters. I think Shell obviously very well synergizes with Howlet, where Surges might be interesting with a character such as Reagan, keeping a lot of the focus off of him to get some interesting attacks in. As for Howlet, I just don't see it really beating what's already good in Wind, so I don't know. I'm just going to leave this as a pass for me as I get more. Again, UR materials are just so uh, limited that it doesn't feel really worthy of recommending them. Niv, I think, could be interesting with all the bow upgrades, but is it better than just running Skahal, uh, the Immortal? Probably not. At least not yet. As for Rafal, I think that she is not quite good enough, but Ice just has so many good options right now, and you're way better. You're way, 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 way smarter to just wait for Elia's eventual upgrade. I mean, you can just spend the resources better here, and it's not on Rafal. As for Raychez versus Moore, this is the one direct head-to-head, I feel, in this entire review. Raychez is not bad, but not bad isn't good enough for a pure UR horn. If it was that the selection quest units had their own specific types of horn, and I'll even just prove it right now if we just go in here. Nice calming music, right? If we go in here and we just find her, wanted to upgrade, yeah, it uses the pure one. And as you can see, personally, I only have 3 left, and it's just not there. If it's your favorite unit, go ahead. But I actually think that more is a significantly better upgrade for water users, especially ones who have Amneris in their party or in their actual account already. These 2 units plus Celeste are just a completely synergistic water team that potentially can deal with evasion, high DPS. It has a lot of survival and auto healing in it. It has a lot of power and single target and AoE attacks in it. I honestly think that makes a lot of sense here with all the upgrades that these specific water units have seen in very recent times. So yeah, I'm gonna say that probably from my overall, Surges, Shell, and More are my favorites, with Niv being one to watch. Howlet, Raychez, Rafal, and Mia are probably going to be on my pass list, but this is my personal list, and you can draw your own conclusions. So let me know in the comments below what you think, and talk to you next time. See ya.